Welkin, Planeteer. This is not a story of the next century. This could happen in your lifetime. 10 years, 20 years, who can tell? It might even happen to you. In our last episode, you will remember, Chris Welkin was a rocket expert testing guided missiles at Atom City in the New Mexico desert in the year 1979. With his friend Rocky Starr, a science student from Hiawatha College, Chris was startled to see a strange triangular object darting about the view screen in his laboratory. Suddenly, they decided the strange object was actually a flying saucer. In less time than it takes Rocky to say great curling triangles, he and Chris jumped into a fast jet plane and soared away from the Atom City airport. Higher and higher they went, closer and closer to the huge ship. And then suddenly their jet plane was stopped right in midair. So hard they were both knocked unconscious. And great, powerful force beams drew their small jet right up inside the flying monster, and a big hatch closed behind them. Sometime later, when they came to, they were amazed to find they were actually on board the flying saucer in a compartment that looked like it was made for very tiny people. And they were even more amazed when they actually saw one of the little people. It was a girl not more than 3 feet high named Venna. But their really big surprise came when they discovered that Dr. Budd, one of Rocky's professors at Hiawatha who had been missing for 3 days, was also aboard the strange ship. Venna and Dr. Budd had no sooner started to explain to Chris and Rocky that they had been brought aboard the Flying Triangle to help save the Earth from destruction when they were suddenly attacked. A long cigar-shaped spaceship dived at them and narrowly missed them with a magnetic disruptor. Although it knocked them all to the deck, Dr. Budd explained in his own quaint way that the magnetic disruptor could destroy them all if it scored a direct hit. Then the enemy ship started to attack again.
They're making another pass at us. They're going to shoot again. Venna, you know how to work the controls. Try to dodge them.
Chris, she can't. When she fell, she hit her head. She's unconscious.
Bless my soul. I wonder who'll fly the ship now.
Somebody's got to, and fast. I'll have to try one of them. This one. Chris's hand touches one of the control buttons. Instantly, there's a surge of power. The flying triangle lurches sideways, throwing all its passengers to the deck. And the attacking ship misses them a mile. Chris's fast action and his good guessing have saved them from certain disaster for the time being anyway.
You did it, Chris. You did it.
Bless my soul, we're all still alive. Amazing. I shall write a paper on it and become famous.
Don't get your hopes up. We were just lucky that time.
But you dodged them, Chris. They missed us.
What makes you think they won't try it again?
I must find my slide rule.
Yes, you're right, Chris.
Just as soon as they pull out of that high-speed pass, they'll be back to take another pot shot at us. And this time, maybe we won't be so lucky. Chris is right. They are still in grave danger of being destroyed by the strange enemy ship. And Venna, the only one who knows how to pilot the Flying Triangle, is still unconscious. We'll return to the adventures of Chris Welkin, Planeteer, in just a moment after this important message. And now, back to Chris Welkin, Planeteer. Expecting the enemy ship to renew its attack at any moment, Chris and Rocky worked furiously to revive Venna.
Chris, she's coming too.
Venna! Are you all right?
Oh, what happened?
You hit your head and were knocked unconscious when that ship attacked.
The attack.
The tiny Venna pushes a button on the control panel, and the Flying Triangle lurches ahead, gathering speed rapidly. But the big enemy ship is already racing after them, going faster and faster.
What have they got against us?
They probably don't even know Earthlings are aboard my ship.
But you said they had something to do with the destruction of Earth. Who are they, anyway?
They call themselves Ichthusians. I'm not sure where they come from, but one day they swooped down from space and conquered my people on Venus.
Venus? Are you from Venus?
Yes. My people occupy nearly half of Venus. But now they are all enslaved by Othon of Ichthus.
What about you, Venna? Why weren't you enslaved, too?
The day it happened, I was in space in the Flying Triangle. I learned of their attack and that they planned to conquer Earth, too, so I didn't even land.
Heavens, no. She came directly to Earth and picked us up. Isn't it exciting?
I wanted to warn the people of Earth, and I was hoping that perhaps the Earthlings could help me save my own people.
Great curling triangles. How are we going to help you? Or even fight off the Ichthusians? We don't have spaceships on Earth yet.
If I just had my slide rule.
Suddenly, the control room is filled with the sound of the warning signal. The warning signal that can mean only one thing. The enemy ship is gaining on them. And sure enough, creeping closer and closer, the Ichthusian ship is already within shooting range, near enough to completely destroy the flying triangle if they choose to use the full power of the magnetic disruptor.
All they've got to do is blast us. There's nothing to stop them.
Bless my soul.
Can't you get any more speed out of it, Benna?
I'm afraid not, Chris. I'm sorry.
Bless my soul. Oh. It's so much quieter in here now.
Benna, don't cut your power off, not at a time like this.
I didn't, Chris. I didn't touch the controls. The power just quit.
Now what are we going to do? No power. And the Ichthusian ship is right behind us.
Well, see if you can find what caused it, Benna, quickly. Chris and Benna work feverishly to determine the cause of the flying triangle's power failure, unaware that the answer is in the Ichthusian ship itself. Using their magnetic disruptor at only half power, they have caused the giant generators aboard the flying triangle to go dead. And in the control room of the enemy ship, the leader of the Ichthusians is giving a crewman a strange order.
Stand by to turn on the graviton. I want them all to be helpless and unable to resist when I go aboard their ship.
I am ready, Othan. Just say the word and the graviton will pin them to the wall. They will be unable to move a finger. They will be your prisoners.
A man's hand clutches the switch that controls the graviton, a device capable of projecting a field of artificial gravity from one ship to another.
Now, turn on the graviton.
With a mighty yank, the switch is turned on, and the graviton throws its powerful beam of artificial gravity right into the flying triangle. Chris, Rocky, Benna, and Doc, all of them, are irresistibly drawn toward the control room wall.
Great curling triangles, who shoved me?
Bless my soul. I feel dizzy.
We're being drawn toward that wall.
The Ichthusians are doing it. It's their graviton.
Grab a what?
Graviton, an artificial gravity beam.
Almost before they can realize what has happened, they are pinned flat against the wall, unable to move, held there by the powerful force of the graviton. Prisoners. Prisoners of the evil Othan. Soon the Ichthusian ship has been joined to the flying triangle with a magnetic coupler enabling Othan to walk from one ship to the other. Quickly, he descends the ladder inside the coupling tube. And with his henchmen, he soon confronts his prisoners face to face.
How dare you come aboard my ship?
Who are these other prisoners? You are obviously one of the little people of Venus, but who are the others?
You have no right to force your way in here.
Don't make useless talk. Answer my question. Who are your passengers?
I'll answer your question. My name is Chris Welkin. We're all from Earth.
From Earth, did you say?
Yeah, Earth. And don't bother telling us who you are, because we already know.
Very, very interesting. This is exceedingly good fortune.
Yes, Othan, the Earthlings can tell us what we want to know.
Exactly.
But just what do you want with us? And what do you think you'll gain by treating us in this manner?
What will we gain? We will learn what kind of defenses you have on Earth. Then we will know how many of our ships and weapons it will take to conquer your planet.
Don't tell them, Chris. Don't tell them anything.
I don't have any intention of telling them a thing, Benna.
How many spaceships do you have?
Spaceships? Why, we don't
Rocky.
Hmm?
Tell them nothing.
Oh. Yeah, sure, Chris.
Don't be fools. If you do not tell me willingly, I'll only force it out of you.
You'll get nothing out of us.
Very well, if you insist. Bring bombs from our ship and arrange for the graviton to be switched off.
Quickly, the other Ichthusian scurries off to do Othan's bidding. In a few moments, he has returned with several lengths of stout plastic cord. Then, as Othan holds his prisoners at the point of a deadly ray blaster, the 4 victims are securely bound, and Benna alone is tied to the control chair of her own ship. Wait a minute. Why have you tied Benna to the control chair?
I want her to be able to see the view screen.
What are you talking about? What are you planning?
Here, I'll show you.
Making a quick setting of the triangle's instruments, Othan then turns on the screen. And there in the distance is the planet Venus.
There. You see in the view screen the planet Venus dead ahead. When we return to my ship and release the magnetic disruptor, the triangle will again have power. Its drive will start up. The ship will accelerate faster and faster, right toward Venus.
Bless my soul. It'll be on a collision orbit with Venus.
We'll crash right into it. We'll all be killed.
Not all of you. You see, you 3 are coming aboard my ship.
What are you saying?
Just this. Unless you change your minds about giving me the information I want about the defenses of Earth, We will all watch Venna go to her death as her ship crashes into Venus.
Stand by for the conclusion of Chris Welkin, Planeteer, in just one moment. After this brief message. And now back to the conclusion of Chris Welkin, Planeteer.
Heavens, what an unfair thing to do.
What do you say, Chris Welkin? Have you decided to tell me all about the defenses of Earth?
You can't do this.
You'll never get away with it.
I can do it, and I will get away with it.
Tell him nothing, Chris. Mine is only one life. You cannot betray all the people who live on Earth, your own people.
Take them away. Take them aboard my ship.
Don't give up, Vanna. We'll save you. We won't let you crash into Venus.
Take them away!
And with no further words, Chris, Rocky, and Doc are forced out of the control room, leaving Vanna alone to her fate. Threatened by the deadly ray blaster, they are herded up the ladder of the magnetic coupler tube and into the control room of the Ichthusian ship. Othan barks out his commands.
Turn off magnetic disruptor.
And instantly the huge power generators on the flying triangle come back to life, and Venna's ship begins to accelerate straight for planet Venus.
Power generators on!
Great curling triangles, Chris. What are we going to do? Othan has actually carried out his threat.
Well, Chris Welkin, do you tell me what I want to know, or shall we just wait until the flying triangle crashes? Which is it, huh?
Say, Chris Welkin and his friends are certainly in a spot now, but you can count on Chris to come up with something in the next exciting episode of Chris Welkin, Planeteer.